right, and we're back for another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our shows. And if you can, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Plus, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, or do anything that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Game Source, the awesome folks at LakerHolics.com, and our good friends at the Hoopheads Podcast Network, it is sincerely appreciated. Phew. The Lakers in a back-to-back against Houston when it was on the schedule. When it was laid out on the schedule, it looked like two very easy victories. And on Sunday, on Halloween, it looked that was going to be the case when they just went ahead and just drove away from the Houston Rockets and pretty much put it in cruise control. The same we were expecting would happen here tonight. But alas, the pride of the Houston Rockets showed up today and almost defeated the Los Angeles Lakers because in the first half, they played extremely well. And the Lakers' porous defense again showed up once again as they gave up 70 points in the first half. But a very strong-minded big three, as LakerTom likes to call them, came back in the fourth quarter after being down by as many as 12 points to come back strong in the fourth quarter. And at first it looked like they were going to pull away because the inexperience of the Houston Rockets was getting the best of them. But lo and behold, in the last 40 seconds, two three-pointers back-to-back, and boom, they were right there within the grasp and had their victory. And a last shot by Kevin Porter Jr. only to fall just short. And the Lakers escape. And that is a good word to say again, escape, with a 119-117 victory. But as we've said on this show before, a win is a win. And here today to talk about the big three performance, the porous defense, and what's coming up for the rest of the week as a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today at LakerHolics.com. I know he said he's got some more good articles in the offering that he's currently contemplating. And also he's available at LakerTom on Twitter. It is LakerTom and LakerTom. That defense, man, he had that great performance defensively on Sunday. It didn't translate today.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting thinking about why it didn't translate, I thought that the Rockets made an excellent adjustment to the Lakers fighting over all of the screens, which was basically that they really got some players moving around and keeping a guy on a hip, because once you get by that screen, if you're trailing the screen, then you're playing 4-on-3 or 3-on-2, on the other side of the screen, and they did a good job of that today. They've got some talented players. I mean, that last three that Green put in was just incredible. I mean, I didn't think that had a chance in the world of going in.
That's the good. You've seen the good and the bad in these two games right now with Jalen Green. I mean, there's all the promise in the world, and you actually saw it today as well.
Yeah. No, and it's this was one of those games where it seemed like every single play was, and I can't even believe the referee's calls where they gave 2 free throws in error and then take them back afterwards, thinking that they can do that legally. I mean, I think they risked putting that game at, if the Lakers had lost. And also too, I love Stu. I've always loved Stu Lance, but saying that it's dumb to go for 3 on the road when you're down by 2. I mean, I think that's the logical play that anybody would make, would be to go for the 3-pointer when you're on the road. And they got a good shot at it too, so thank God that, they don't shoot 50% on threes.
Well, the other thing that was curious, because they said, they shouldn't go ahead and match the pace with the Rockets. They said this in the first half because they're such a younger team and whatnot. And then you realize who is second in the NBA in pace? The Los Angeles Lakers, because they love to run and are best when they're on the run. So why would you make those statements, especially if you are the individual booth, the individual broadcasting team that actually should know the Lakers better than anyone. They need to run, period. Doesn't matter if it's against the Houston Rockets, the Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets.
The best shots you get are in transition or in early offense because the defense is
unless you're Kent
up.
Bazemore. But we won't go there.
You know, this game ironically was just really like the two worlds of basketball meeting. They got 10 more threes. They made 10 more threes than we did, 16-6, 30 points. Yep. We were down 30 points in the 3-point shooting contest. And of course, 6 of them were the last 2 shots that they put in.
If your name,
on the other hand, we outscored them by 28 points in the paint.
Yeah, but hold on. If your names weren't Carmelo Anthony or LeBron James, you basically only made one 3-pointer.
You didn't make any 3-pointers.
No, right? They made one. Bazemore made one. The rest of the team outside of Carmelo and LeBron, nothing. Nada.
Well, you know, Frank's won the battle between Rob Pelinka and Frank Vogel over how are we going to play? Because Rob's given Frank all of these shooters. And the problem is those are 3 and D guys, and what Frank wants are the D and 3 guys, the guys who defense is more important than the 3-point shooting. And so we've switched to that way. And we've been winning. And I think it is the right way to go. But it's affected some of our players. Monk has played terrible the last 3 games. You know, he's just been a non-factor. And his minutes and his opportunities have been limited because of his defense, you know.
Austin Reeves, after that early start, has he's not been able to perform quite as well.
His defense has been excellent. His defense has been outstanding. But he's, you know, and he's
not against Jalen Green. When he was on Jalen Green, you saw the undrafted versus the number 2 pick.
Right,
but yes, against other players, he's been pretty solid.
A rookie, as good as Reeves can be as a rookie, he's not, you know, he's limited. He doesn't have elite athleticism to be able to really shut guys down. You know, he's just a smart guy who's going to be in the right place at the right time and make the right play. And you know, what we saw at least in the first half, you know, it would be interesting if I rewatched the game because, you know, we've seen over and over in the NBA that good offense beats good defense. Great offense can beat great defense. And tonight, I watched a lot of the plays that Houston was doing. And if they are the worst team in the league, the NBA's in pretty damn good shape, man, because they got some players and they executed beautifully in the first half. I mean, they shot lights out from deep. So, you know, I mean, they're an NBA team. You know, people forget that, you know, they may not be the best 15 players out there, but, you know, they're one of 30 teams that probably have the best 15 players in the world.
They're playing 4 teenagers in that rotation. Yeah. You know, that's one thing. That's going to take some time.
Yeah, they turn the ball over. They make dumb plays, but, man, they've got some talented players.
That they do.
You know, and at times that can get frustrated. And at times young legs really, really can jump all over the place, you know. I thought LeBron had a great game. I thought the big 3 had a great game.
Yeah, let me break it down for everyone real quick out there. Anthony Davis had 27 points, 9 rebounds, 3 block shots, 2 steals, 0 for 3 from the 3-pointer, and he did have his customary, I tweaked something on my body as he tweaked his ankle and was,
I know,
as he seemingly does every game. LeBron James, 13 for 21, 2 for 4 from 3, 30 points, 10 assists, really, really good game for him. 4 turnovers each for Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I guess you're going to have to live with that. Russell Westbrook, again, only 3 turnovers, and I'm saying that as a compliment to him. 27 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds. Really solid game for
7
him.
of 8 from the line, man.
Yes,
I mean,
that's really good. That
was really clutch.
Yeah, all of them. 5 for 8, 7 for 8, 2 for 2 from the big 3. I mean, that's pretty solid shooting. Only 3 misses between them, so that's really good. 10 for 21. That's almost 50% from Russ. I'll take it. I'll take that every time from those three. Everybody around them is kind of up and down. Carmelo, who is now getting the talk as sixth man of the year already, early going, and who's shooting an amazing 50% from three, was even better than that today with 3 for 5 from three, 6 for 9 overall, and 15 points. Again, as long as he's not guarding out on the perimeter, in fact, it's crazy. It's one of LakerTom's crazy things I'm going to say here. You might want to start thinking about playing Carmelo a lot more at the 5. I want to keep him down on the block as much as I can. He is a very good rebounder.
It's pretty hard to do that defensively. That's the problem.
I know. I'm just saying.
But I came away with one impression after watching this game. And it's an impression that's been growing on me. But Melo is a weapon. I mean, we've never had this since Lou Williams played for us. I can't remember us having recently in history a sixth man who could really come in and pour points just score a lot of points for you, and be just dangerous as hell outside. All night long I kept waiting for Melo to go off, and he went off a little bit, but that's okay. 15 points is not bad, and 3 for 5 from 3 is beautiful.
Well, the thing is,
he's really going to be an integral part of the offense,
But the transformation in Melo's game over the course of the past few years, from an individual who wanted nothing to do with coming off the bench.
He says it's no transformation, and Russ agrees with him. He's always been
no. I've been putting a lot of thought into this in regards to Melo and his transformation as a basketball player, and I talk about it every now and then. You hear me out there if you listen to our shows. I talk about Olympic Carmelo. This is more of the Olympic Carmelo, because when he first realized that line, that three-pointer line, was about where he shot his mid-range shots, he said to himself, "This is what I like," and I liked it. And what he did was
nice rule change, man.
Well, he made himself available on those super teams for the Olympics and said, "You know what? I'm just going to spot up and hit a lot of threes," and that's the reason why he's the U.S. all-time Olympic scorer, I believe, for the United States. So he's done a great job of that. But whenever he went back to playing with New York, and then obviously what happened with Oklahoma, and then what happened.
It's hard to admit. It's hard to admit you're getting old,
Yeah, he didn't want to admit once he went back and changed. He reverted back and tried to be the Carmelo that he once was. The thing now is he realizes what his game is and what he can do well and what he can't. So he's reverted to Olympic Melo and just said, "You know what? I'm going to be there for the catch and shoots. That's the main crux of my game at this point in time. I'm going to be the best I can at it." And it shows. He's number 1 in the NBA at catch and shoot threes. Number 1 ahead of Steph. So that's a great compliment to him. And again, it's
the perfect way to end your career, because rather than having to go into the paint and fight around people and battle for 2 points left and right, you can sit out there at the end of the perimeter and wait for Russ or LeBron to throw you the ball.
He was such an ISO heavy individual. He was such an ISO heavy individual, and realized.
Well, what's great is the limited amount of time that he has the ball in his hands now, because now it's like 4 or 5 seconds. It's not like the 15 seconds that used to drive people crazy watching Melo. It's just like back and forth, the windshield wiper back and forth, dribbling and running around, and you use up 3/4 of the clock and you shoot a fadeaway jumper. I hated that Melo. I hate that player in general. I love the fact that Melo now, even when he gets the ball, he is firing away. He's not sitting around waiting. The ball is, I like the offense. The modern offense is basically nobody should touch the ball for longer than 3 seconds at a time. If you really follow that edict in your offense, you will see the ball move around so much quicker and faster, and people cutting quicker and faster because they know that people have to get rid of the ball as soon as they touch it. And that's the worst kind of offense for a player to play against defensively, because it just wears you out and drives you nuts and crazy, because it just leaves you open for backdoor cuts and so forth, because everybody is moving so fast and the ball is moving so often, and nobody is sticking around and dribbling where everybody else in the lineup gets a chance to rest on defense while somebody is posting somebody up and dribbling them down into the key. It's just getting everybody involved all the time so that the defense is moving around just like the offense is moving around. And the Lakers basically, if they can accomplish that, this is really the first game where we've seen all three superstars basically dominate the game, the threesome. And it's, I mean, we only won by 2 points and a missed 3 at the end of the game. But it is early in the season, and you know, great offense always will beat great defense, man. And it's really hard. The rules have changed so much that it's difficult to stop these guys, and they can shoot from so much further up. I mean, can you imagine guys who played in the 50s and 60s and 70s coming and watching these guys play today where they're firing up, 10, 15 threes a game?
Well, I'm convinced that most of the players in that era, unfortunately, could not make it in today's game. It's just a matter of, again, the athleticism has evolved, this basketball skill has evolved, and obviously the rules changes have evolved to benefit, a modern player. So that's what we're seeing, and it's no deflection or snark against those older players. It's just the fact that the
players are bigger and stronger and faster.
And it's just
taller and longer. I mean, they're all of those things combined.
It's just the evolving of the game over the course of those decades. So it's not any slight on any of those individuals from the 50s, 60s, what have you. It's just the way that basketball has evolved. But my friend, again, the Lakers did escape 119-117. We'll take it as a win. The Lakers now move to 5-3. But before we head on out, we got a couple games upcoming on Thursday and Saturday. Thursday is still at home at the Staples Center against Oklahoma City in the grudge match of this 2020-21 season. So we'll see what happens after that terrible loss last week, but we won't talk about that. But again, I think that they'll be motivated this time around after how embarrassed they were. I'm not really concerned about that. It's the game against Portland. Now, Portland has been struggling. Damian Lillard has been someone that's been in all over the sports news because of the fact he's not been performing well, not been shooting well. I think
trying to shoot his way to Philadelphia.
Yeah, it seems seemingly, if you ask the crowd there in Philadelphia, that's what I heard as far as the chants are concerned. But I'm thinking that they will probably get a better performance from Damian Lillard in Portland come Saturday. What do the Lakers need to do to get out of that funk? Because they never seem to play well in Portland. And yes, I'm totally dismissing.
It's like the curse of the Rose Garden, even though it's no longer the Rose Garden.
Yeah.
Hey, Dame always shoots well against us.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's going to have a bad game against the Lakers.
I don't think he is either.
I wouldn't count on that for anything.
Yeah.
And I think actually it's good because we need a challenge, sometimes.
Here you go again. We almost lost the game tonight. Wasn't that challenge enough?
Well, yeah, Gerald, here's the thing about the schedule. They try to make it fair, this thing called equity, which means that if you play nothing but cupcakes early in the season, later in the season, you're going to play all of the non-cupcakes. So it doesn't matter. You play the games, you play them. And we need a challenge right now because obviously it's a lot easier for this Laker team to get up against the Clippers, the Bucks, the 76ers, or in our case, Portland. It's just Portland has been a team has taunted us at various times, and Dame has been a player who has killed us many times. So I think that it'll be good to get a challenge just because we can't be. I mean, you get so tired of playing teams that you end up playing more down to their level than up to the challenge of playing somebody who's really good. And you usually play your best when you're playing the best because you're motivated. They're motivated. They make you play better. You make them play better. And the game is a better game as a result. When you're playing the Cavaliers and the Thunder and the Houston Rockets, it's hard for these guys to get motivated. It's hard for LeBron James to get motivated and play the whole game. It's hard for Anthony Davis to want to play the whole game. All of them, those aren't the games that they look forward to. You know, you go in there, you don't want to get hurt, you want to work on certain things, and then you find yourself in a total all out fight that you can just barely survive, and you're all of a sudden you're down 12, middle of the third quarter. And so it's good for them to get a challenge so that they'll come out really on fire, because we didn't come out on fire in this game. We came out getting shot, getting 3-pointers hoisted up in our face, and we were, but right from the start, it was a head-and-head match up to 12 points, and then and we just never could seem to separate ourselves from them. And in fact, we chased them the entire first half, and we chased them early in the third quarter. I'm happy that we won the game. I'm happy that that streak where we were down 12 and we came back to get it within 2. We stopped them 5 times in a row. We made baskets 5 times in a row. LeBron was attacking. Russ was attacking. I think Russ was like at one point in the game in the fourth, before the end of the game in the fourth quarter, I think they said he was 10 of 13 in the paint. So he was really being effective. We missed in the first half. We must have missed at least 6 or 7 layups too. It was just one of those freakish games where everybody was missing shots right at the rim. AD missed one. Russ missed 2 or 3 of them. Bazemore went down court and missed a shot. Should have got a foul afterwards because he got leveled on the play. But
he missed more than one layup. He missed a couple layups.
Yeah, it was a sloppy game in that sense. There were a lot of dead bunnies laying on the floor after this game. But it's a win, and thank God they didn't make that 3-point shot at the end, or else it would have been a real rough night.
At least on this show, that's for sure. But the Lakers did win 119-117. They escape the Staples Center with another victory. Again, they're 5-3 on the season. They're moving up in the standings, which is a good sign indeed. We will be back on Thursday after the game against Oklahoma City to go ahead and recap that, which should be a win because after the embarrassing loss, they're not going to do it twice.
I think we're in third place now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in third place right now, behind the Golden State Warriors and the Utah Jazz, both of which are right now doing very well right now in the standings. So you got to give them a credit. But yes, we are third place in the Western Conference, which again was probably where I went, right around where I was thinking that they were going to do. Thought it was going to be a little bit easier a road. Thought the defense would be a little bit less problematic, I was hoping, but those fears I have really still continued. So we'll see if they can continue to tinker with the defense as we continue along with the season. But LakerTom, if you have any questions for him, at LakerTom on Twitter. He's got articles coming up in the not too distant future at Lakerholics.com. Of course, Jamie Sweet, he's dropping his 5 things, hoping he'll be able to return to our show in the next couple episodes. Maybe we'll see what happens there, but LakerTom, great to have you back once again as we wrap up this game. Again, it was, like I said, defense not there in the first half. They finally tightened up in the fourth quarter and pulled it out. 119-117. We'll take it. But again, Thursday against Oklahoma City, which should be a win. No excuses there. Then we'll go ahead and see what happens Saturday night in Portland as they go ahead and take on the Portland Trailblazers. So, LakerTom, any last thoughts on the way out?
It's kind of interesting that we had almost 3 superstars score close to 30 points, and we still almost lost the game. I'm a little concerned about the fact that I felt at various times, especially in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter, I felt at various times like there was nobody who could shoot a 3 and make it. Then they put Melo in for Reeves, so that helped the situation a little. But Melo was the only player that I really felt real confident of hoisting a 3 up. And knowing that Frank is a defense-first coach and he's going to be looking at all of the guys, I mean, I'm thankful we're playing small ball. I'm thankful for AD is playing center, and it looks like Frank is in favor of this now. And so when you sort all of the various things that are happening in the small fry and big deals, this is a big deal in my opinion that Frank is willing to go small And I think it's just because he realizes that his defense is much better when AD is playing center because he's closer to the basket.
What
And he
also
can
helps
control the
when
defense.
Dwight Howard still has that neck issue and is still.
Yeah, but that I heard several discussions about that, and that decision to make the AD start at the 5 was made before they knew Howard was injured, so that wasn't part of the consideration for it. It appeared to be at the time, and I was worried that it was the reason for it. But the reason for it is basically the defense is better when we're small. When AD is at the 5, we have better rim protection, and then also we just have, with 4 other smaller players around the court, we're able to rotate faster. Now, there's a price you pay for that. The price you're paying is you're doubling the ball very often, and you're forcing the team to react, and you're creating a chaotic situation. And usually where you get burned is a wide open 3 because somebody beat the rotation, and these teams practice all the time beating the rotation. That's what our offense is based upon. It's drive and dish, and sometimes it's like guys won't even make a layup if they're close to the basket. The whole point is just get to the paint and throw the ball out so you can get coaching points that way. But the Lakers are going to have to, they're going to have to get better in those situations. And sometimes I wonder whether, if a team is really hot from 3, as to whether you want to continue to be trapping their star players and so forth, and putting yourself in situations where they've got a 4-on-3 or a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1 on you somewhere on the court, because those are the battles that you lose. And if a team can hit 3-point shots, those are the ones that kill you because they're wide open and they're high percentage shots. And tonight we lost the 3-point shooting contest by 30 points. I would like, it'd be interesting to know from the stats that how very often has a team won a game when they lost the 3-point shooting contest by 30 points. That's a pretty big differential to overcome. And we didn't completely overcome. We overcame it by shooting good free throws. Probably saved the game for us. They were a horrible free throw shooting team. Turnovers and free throws. A young, undisciplined team that hasn't yet found an outside shooting stroke, but sure can put the ball in. And almost anybody in the game today shoots the 3 ball. Even the kids that can't even shoot 50% from free throws that you see in high school and college, they're shooting 3s. Everybody knows that's how you got to play the game today.
Well, there you go, indeed. But check out what he's doing today at LakerHolics.com. Read all of his comments, read all of his great articles, and check out what LakerTom is doing there. Plus, also as well, at LakerTom on Twitter, you can go ahead and send him a tweet, talk some Lakers with him there. Of course, as well, LakerHolics.com. Well, LakerTom, we escaped the jaws of that back-to-back and escaped the trap that maybe Admiral Akbar, our good friend Jamie Sweet, might have left for us. But
and we're now getting close. We're taking on our last sort of easy game on the schedule. That powder puff schedule that we had, and
yes.
And starting Saturday, we're going to have to pick it up. So it'd be nice to have a nice clean routing victory with a little bit of rest for everybody, so they can get ready for Saturday.
We'll see what happens, and if that's the case, we'll report it right here on Thursday after the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder at the Staples Center on Thursday. And we'll be back after that game to go ahead and report on it. Once again, the Lakers did escape with a 119-117 victory over the Houston Rockets. If you got any questions for us, at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter or LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. Well, LakerTom, great to have you here once again. Looking forward to our conversation on Thursday. Hopefully, again, like you said, it will be some maybe a laugher, like it should have been in the first place in the first half in Oklahoma City. We'll just forget about what happened the rest of that time. But let's hope a repeat performance is not in the offering on Thursday.
Change the rule when you get 30 points ahead, for example, you can call a game,
Well, they only got to 26, but need I digress. Yeah. But we will see what happens this Thursday coming up at the Lakers Fast Break podcast.